Hello, my name is Will Holtz, and this is my week 3 lesson plan template assignment, the TED Talk version. And so I was not super familiar with TED Talks. I mean, obviously, they're super popular on YouTube. I've only watched like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of one or two. So I did a quick little Google survey, and let me pull that up, and it said that TED Talks, according to TED.com, they gave me 3 bullet points, and the first was structure, the next was brevity, and lastly was purpose. So I will try and follow this rubric that TED.com listed, and keep my speech or talk, keep it clear, concise, and with a purpose. So quick little intro is my name is Will Holtz. I live in San Jose, California. I was a paraeducator for 2 years, the last 2 years, and now I am a substitute teacher for a school district here in San Jose. And so I don't have too much experience with lesson plans, especially the 2 years as a paraeducator, because I was just mainly there for small group support or one-on-one support. It was a paraeducator in an STC class, so it was mainly just small group support. But I do have the last 3 weeks or so of experience with lesson plans given to me by the teacher that I'm subbing in for. And so I think the first difference I see between the lesson plans that I receive as a sub and the lesson plan listed on the CSOE sub plan is first the detail. The CSOE sub plan is so detailed, everything is laid out. Everything is just, it goes into a lot more in depth than the sub plans that I'm familiar with. There are some similarities, so I guess I'll start with those. So there are some similarities, like at the beginning of the lesson, say we're doing a math lesson, it's important to talk about the lesson summary, what you're going to learn, what kind of the goals you're trying to achieve, what you're looking for the students to kind of just wrap their mind around. Maybe it draws on a lesson, maybe you're building off of a lesson the day before. That's the nice thing about subbing, is often it's for a couple of days, so you get to see the same class for a couple of days, so you can build a little continuity there. So there are some similarities, but there are many more differences than the small lesson plans I've received as a sub. First is I've never ever talked about philosophy or standards. I've never done any sort of, before this last week or week and a half, and the chapter that we just read, I didn't even really know what the different teaching philosophies were. So I was not familiar with that. So that's been great to go into, whether it was the reading or the CSOE subplan. Another similarity, I'm going out of order a little bit, but another similarity between the subplans that I'm familiar with is most teachers do like having a formative assessment before the lesson was over. So say we just went over a new concept, and they would hand out maybe like it's called an exit ticket, but it's not an exit ticket. It's more like a midway, like a checkpoint ticket, I guess. And so this would be a formative assessment before the lesson was over, to make sure everyone's at least gets the concept of what we just went over. Most of the teachers that I've worked with do identify that it is a diverse group, and so there's diverse learners, and there's maybe they've prepared me more worksheets are ready for the more advanced learners, and then they tell me, okay, take these 4 students and bring them more one-on-one time for maybe they're a little more at-risk learners, so they give me a little more one-on-one time with those students. I do agree. Another similarity was that the scaffold practice is very important, kind of building your building blocks up to the more advanced material is very, very important. And then to answer the second bullet point, what 3 elements do you think you will find challenging? First is I think one area that I've never done before, but I think there's a lot of value there, is having the teacher fill out a pre and post teaching lesson reflection. This allows for growth on the teacher's end. One thing that I've found challenging within the last 3 weeks is how to keep the students interested. I think one downside of being a sub is that oftentimes, I mean, even when I was a student, if I saw that there was a sub, it was immediately, oh, today's kind of like a day off. We're not really going to be trying as hard. We're not going to be as focused. So I think how to keep the students interested is another challenge. And then lastly, I think just going through all of the routines and all the kind of the dot your I's and cross your T's that this CSOE lesson plan has. It is very detailed, very covers everything. So I think just being able to go through all of that is another challenge. So those are my 3 challenges. Great. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.